Hello everyone, here we have a video of DPICMS in action. So, a Russian armoured assault is tracked by a Ukrainian spotter drone moving through a forest in Kreminna when DPICMS is called on to hit it, as well as high explosive artillery. You can see in the video the distinctive crackle of the DPICMS cluster shells detonating in the trees during the strike. We can also see in the video a couple of missile strikes flying over the armoured column to impact positions in the woods. At least 2 tanks are seen destroyed and abandoned at the end of the video clip. It's quite interesting footage. Now, before we get to geolocation, I'm going to go through a few screenshots for you. First, here, we can see at least 6 vehicles make up this attack force. There are likely more out of a camera shot. Here, there's a few interesting things here. So first of all, there is a missile seen in flight, flying over the armoured column. This eventually impacts on a small building. There's also a disabled tank blocking the road, with an active tank moving alongside it. It's following the same route as the missile. This suggests that this was a Russian missile, but it could be that the tanks were retreating back to Russian lines. I'll check the geolocation, which will show us what exactly is the right scenario there. Just behind the disabled tank is another tank. I can't tell if it's disabled or merely waiting for the active tank to move past the disabled one and make sure that route off the trail is clear from mines. This screenshot shows the missile impact on a small building, as well as a flash from DPICMS. Now, DPICMS being used to hit this does suggest that this building is Russian occupied and the tanks are in fact retreating, but we'll check that again on the geolocation. Here, we can see a destroyed tank as well as a disabled and abandoned tank. Now, these are different from the one that was blocking the road, so we actually have 3 tanks destroyed, or at least destroyed and disabled and abandoned, in this little skirmish. These 2 are, I believe, in the red box at the top. Then, we have a disabled tank blocking the road further along, so 3 taken out. Now, the geolocation. So here it is, the red cross is marking where the Russian tanks were destroyed, the arrow showing where this column was moving when we saw the destroyed vehicles and that sort of thing. So it was heading east back towards the Russian lines. So these tanks moved west, attacking Ukrainian positions, were hit hard by DPICMS and other artillery systems, with 2 tanks seemingly being destroyed near the front. Then the survivors of the column pulled back to retreat, and that's where we saw the missiles firing in, hitting Russian positions behind it, including a building. So the 2 missiles we saw were Ukrainian ones. I wonder why the decision was made to target the building rather than the tanks themselves. I expect there were Russians inside it, and they were judged to be the priority target here, rather than the retreating vehicles. The building that was hit by the missile is hidden among the trees. Here, zoomed out, you can see it's on a road south of Dibrova. The column heading west towards Ukrainian-controlled territory before retreating because of a heavy fire put down on it. Let's check deep states. So here, you can see south of Dibrova and right on the front lines. This Russian push certainly discovered that this area is pretty well defended, as we saw DPICMS, artillery shells, and missiles fired at the vehicles and the troop positions. Zoomed out again, this is in the area of Kreminna. Russia is said to have moved troops and vehicles here recently to carry out an offensive, so this is an area we need to keep an eye on. Now, that's it for this video, but before we finish, some unfortunate news from Sanef and Yuri, who we've done fundraisers for in the past. You may remember the video playing now, showing a casualty evacuation drone which was purchased from the last fundraiser. This was being used not only to evacuate injured troops near the front lines, but also deliver vital supplies to the front lines. Unfortunately, I've heard from Sanef that it's been lost because of the conditions on the front and can't be recovered safely, although it has been hidden, and hopefully in spring when the weather gets better, it may eventually be recovered. Yuri is urgently requesting a fundraiser for a replacement, one with tracks which may be better suited for frontline work. 5,000 is left over from the last fundraiser, and Yuri's unit has pulled together around 5,000 more, and asked for a fundraiser to try and raise the rest. The donation link is in the description. Yuri is right on the front line. You may remember a few days ago I shared a photo on screen now of a truck that we did a fundraiser for, which got damaged, evacuating casualties as well. So he's carrying out important work and this is urgently needed. Big thanks to everybody who can donate. Thanks so much for watching and take care everybody.